Hi guys. In this video we're going to discuss the process of creating an event policy from inbound syslog messages from a Cisco router. In this case we're going to go into creating a simple event policy that uses a regular expression to parse out just a piece of the event message in order to keep it from looking cluttered. The router that I'm going to look at, this router called Manchester, as you can see already has a number of syslog messages that are waiting for us. I'm simply going to filter on the syslog message type for right now, and I'm going to focus on these top messages that you see. sys5 priv auth pass. So these are messages that come in when different privilege levels are set. And my use case here is that I want to be notified whenever someone accesses the router with level 15 privilege. So I really only care about level 15 accesses, even though, as you can see, users can access the router with lower privilege levels. So given that this is the one that I want to see, I'm going to select that message there and click on the pencil in order to launch the event policy configuration editor. You can see it pre-populates everything that we'd expect. I only want this to be an informational message, so I'm going to lower this down to a notice severity. And the policy name, which gets populated automatically for me, I'm going to get rid of that and just kind of put in my own for right now. You can see I'm going to just use the name Cisco priv 15 access granted. That'll be my policy name. Now the actual event message that I want to see on the screen, I want to be a subset of the message itself that came in. As you can imagine, I don't really need to see this date, time information and sequence number and all the rest of this stuff. Really all I want to see is that privilege 15 was granted to a specific person on a specific V2I or console or aux port or something like that. So I'm going to filter on this information and on this Cisco message right here. Now, because this is what I care about, then I'm going to grab that piece of text and bring it up here to the event message section. Now, if you take a look at the guide text here for a minute, you'll see about a third of the way down the screen or so where it talks about the event message contents. And what we're going to use here is this %r, %/r to surround the regular expression. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to say privilege level 15 set to 15 by, and then just whatever text comes in after that. So as you saw in the guide text, I'm going to prepend that with a %r, and I'm going to tack a %/r to surround that completely up on top. So this is going to pull this regular expression out of the message. Now the next question is, how do I tell EM7 which syslogs to process this on? Well, that's where this text here is going to come into play. So we're going to apply this only to syslogs that have this this text on the front of them. So I'll say just copy that and paste that into here as the first match string. So I can specify specific syslog facilities and specific severities, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave that at the default right now and say that this applies to only those messages that have this information in the first match string. And I'm also going to come back here and say that privilege level set to 15, because that's important. I really only want to process this if it's got that specific text in it as well. And that's pretty much it. So the other thing to remember is that as I'm creating these event policies, the system is going to update itself once every 5 minutes. So I'm going to put the system on pause here for a moment and come back in about 5 minutes after the system has done its update. So we've got our event policy. I'm going to close this down and I'm going to log into a router and kick this into enable mode. So after just a few seconds we should get a trap in. Ah, there we go. So, or syslog rather. So here's our syslog message, and we have processed that into privilege level set to 15 by unknown on console. Now just to test this out, on my router I'm going to disable my privileged access, and what this is going to do is it's going to send this level 1, and we want to just double check our event logic and make sure that that our filter is working properly, and we should not be generating another message. And perfect. So here's our syslog that we don't care about, privilege level set to 1, and here's the one that we do care about. So we very nicely stripped off all this stuff while at the same time using a primary and a secondary filter in order to ensure that we're only processing the privilege messages that we care about. And we should see that here in our event console, and here it is. I guess the other thing we could do is make sure that go back and edit that event policy, is that we have a rational expiration on that. So I'll put like a 60-minute expiration on that, and everything else would just kind of leave it as it is. Now in this case, this is simply sort of an informational message. It's not something I can set an auto clear on, so I'm just going to leave that unset for right now. And there we go. So that will expire in 60 minutes, and that's another nice example of using a regular expression to parse the contents of a syslog message in order to just pull out a piece of that message, as well as using the first and second match string options on the event console in creating an event policy. So I hope that was worthwhile. Thanks, guys.